posture, our mountain posture. It's taking a moment to arrive on the mountain. Letting the day so far drift away. Any thoughts of the future just settle to the back of your mind, becoming present and aware. Noticing what's happening in your body, listening to your breath. Weight is spread beautifully evenly through the feet, front and back, side to side, beautiful soft toes. The legs are subtly lifted and alive. Bring your awareness to the balance, a subtle lift in the pelvic floor, engaging Uddiyana. Feel how that gently draws the tailbone under subtly and engage the muscles in between the hip bones. Then moving up to Uddiyana, that sense of the lowest tummy drawing gently in and up. Used to fly up, getting that sense of the lengthening and energy moving up through the spine. Shoulders relaxed away from the ears, arms soft. Ujjayi breathing, if it's in your practice, engaging Jalandhara. And listen to that breath for a moment. This is our main focus all the way through the practice. Deep, smooth, beautiful breaths. Feeling the space on the inhale, exploring the posture deeper on the exhale. Stay conscious and aware. When you're ready, we warm up as we take those fingers and interlace them, gluing the knuckles underneath the good square chin. And we're inhaling and exhaling. Deeply in, and then out through the mouth, releasing the head. Root to the floor, strong tongue. Finding a rhythm that works for you. A little faster, a little slower, whatever your breathing feels right today. Let the breath instigate the movement. In and out. Deep and smooth. Drawing warmth and energy into the body. Gradually warming up those shoulders, allowing the elbows to come a little higher. Backs of the hands coming a little closer to the cheekbones. Never forcing, never straining. Finding your edge, feeling that space. Just two more. And the final round. And when you finish your cycle, release. Feeling that surge of warmth coming through the body. Going with that little direction. And then we're coming into warm up the spine. Side bends, back bends, front bend. 3 sets. You're nice and gently on the first. Hands to back. Inhale, sweeping arms wide and high, gluing the palms together. Gaze point forwards, relax the shoulders. Zip up through the core as you lengthen. Cut up and over to the right as you press away gently into the left hip. Keeping nice even weight through those feet. Can the palms are staying glued together. Fingers soft whether they're interlaced or not. Beautiful alone. 3 deep breaths. Maybe finding a little more space. 2. Tummy strong. 1 as we lengthen through that spine. And inhaling back to center. Root to the floor and lengthen. And up and over to the other side. Gradually, slowly easing your way into it. Keeping that beautiful alignment through hips and shoulders. Eyes subtly lifted. Pelvic floor engaged. Tummy strong. 3 deep breaths. Exploring a little deeper. Feel that space on the inhale. Lengthen into the space on the exhale. 1. And inhaling back to center. And finding that center for a moment. We come into our back bend. Softening into the knees. Releasing the head back. And pushing the hips towards the front wall. As we drop back and over through the frontal body. stretching all the way through the front of the body, support with the hands on the lower back or the hips if you. Just one more if you can, always come out early if you need. And then breathing your way back to center. Root to the floor and lengthen, and hinging forward. Allow the knees to bend. Use your hands on the forearms to support on those thighs on your way down if you like. But eventually we're getting bladder, stomach, ribs and chest glued onto those thighs. And roll away. Once you get there, release the body's weight down into the support of those legs. If you're comfortable balance there, you can take the hands around the ankles. Check where the weight is placed through the feet. You're not scrunching into the toes, let go of the head. 2 more deep waves of breath. Feel the space on the inhale, gliding the legs a millimetre straighter on the exhale. 1 more, use the balance to ripple that spine a little longer as you exhale. And releasing palms together, core strong, bending knees as much as you need. Lift and release. Coming straight back in for a second set. Deep wave of inhale, sweep those arms high, planting palms together, gaze quickly. Feel free to interlace fingers or thumbs as we exhale over to the right. Make sure they're soft if you are. Relax the shoulders. If they're going anywhere, they're going back and down. Hugged shoulder blades at the back of those rib cages. 3 deep breaths, pressing away into the left. Nice even weight through the feet. Engage those backs. 1 more breath. Run a little bit longer, a little bit taller. And inhale back to center. Push to the floor and lengthen. Exhale up and over to the other side. Feeling that stretch. Gradually down the right hand side. Holding the ground on the inhale. Exploring a little deeper on the exhale. And find your edge when you see the hips are starting to drop off towards the right. And lift the thighs a little bit more. Use a little bit more tummy strength. Engage those backs. Just 2 more breaths. Exploring a little bit deeper. 1 more. Maybe extending out through the arms. And breathe back to center. Then coming into our back bend once again. Softening. Just relax the head back. Tuck the tailbone under. Sometimes it helps to visualize a rope around the hips. They're being pulled forward towards the front of the space. As you breathe that space through the front of the body, roll the shoulders back and down. Relax into that neck. 3 deep breaths. Feel the sternum lift to the sky, releasing back into it. Never force, never strain. Listen to your body. Inhale, feel that space through the chest. Just soften the head back further. And breathing your way back to center. Lifting up into that center and hinging forward. Keep a sense of length through the front of the body, so we try not to curl down towards the thighs, but bring the very lowest part of the tummy close down onto those thighs, and then gradually hold the rest of the body. All the pressure is in the hips where we want it. The spine's completely protected and supported. Allow us to ripple it a little bit longer as we glide the legs a little bit straighter. 3 deep breaths, the head and nod, release its weight to ground. 2, if the ribs are not yet on the thighs, bend the knees a little further. Fantastic. 1 more breath, just push into the soles of the feet, exploring that edge of your hamstrings, don't force it. And releasing the palms together, core strong, push to the ground, lift. And release. Start coming from third and final section. Inhale, sweeping those arms wide and high, glue the palms together, remember to breathe. Inhale, fill, exhale, extend it over. Feel that stretch coming all the way down the left hand side of the body, through the shoulder, through the rib cage, through the hip, all the way down into that left heel, rooted to the earth. Listen to the sound of the breath. Breathe. Feel the space as you hold your ground, exploring deeper on the exhale. 2 thighs lifted, pelvic floor engaged. 1 more breath, press palms straight to the palms, and inhaling back to center. Root to the ground and lengthen as you inhale, exhaling up and over to the left, feeding that stretch all the way down. Notice where you feel it, and you release and soften and allow that stretch anywhere else, all the way down through that right hand side. Beautiful alignment, beautiful. Breathe, tummy strong, press into it. 2 toes soft, lifted balance. 1 more, palms together, just watch that top shoulder, space through the shoulders, and breathing back to center. And our final back bend, softening into the knees, relax the head back bend from all of that front opening, so we're creating more space all the way through the front of the body with every exhale. Find yourself in a place where you're feeling a little bit shaky, then don't go any further, just listen to that breath, allow a softening and a release, allow yourself to feel more confident where you are before you go any deeper. Then 3 deep breaths, always back off if you've gone too far, just gently explore further for 2. 1 more breath, push the pubic bone specifically towards the front of your mat. And inhaling back to center. Lifting up into that center and hinging forward. Each inhale is about space and lengthening and opening. Each exhale is about exploring a little bit deeper. Work with your breath. Every single one if you can. Find you've gone too far, you're feeling too much in the hamstrings. And soften and bend those knees a fraction further. Give the head weight down to gravity. Give them a roll or waggle. Pull the shoulders back and down away from the ears. Check the toes soft as we breathe for our deep breath. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, pull down to the top. 2. Exploring the legs a fraction straight. 1 more. Feel that spine rippling along the crown, away from the tailbone. And releasing arms together, core strong. To the floor, lift for the sky. And release. Fantastic. And then step on the water if you need one. Then we're going to set up for our awkward postures. So hips sort of distance apart here. Nice parallel feet. Lengthen your foot in between the heels. Over here, in the mirrors, the outside, the feet to the outside of the hips. Toes are lifted, arms are sharp. Listen to the breath. Inhale, zip up and lengthen. Exhale, squat down into that chair. Watch as you're coming down, your knees are staying beautifully parallel. And breathe. Zip up through the core as we lift the chest forward, sit down into the tail. 2 more breaths as we lift those toes and shift weight back into the heels. 1 more, sit down deep, soften the shoulders away from the ears, and release. Then coming high up onto toes and forward. Raising those heels high, feel the calves working, feel the balance working. Choose a gaze point to help with the balance. And bend down into those knees as and when you're ready. Again, everything's staying beautifully parallel. The feet are strong, the ankles are strong, the calves are working, the shoulders are back and down. Breathe. Lift the heels a fraction higher if you can. 2. Tummy into the spine. Sit down deep for 1. And release. And we're bringing the feet together, or closer together. And we'll take the hands and knees down to the floor, the toes stay tucked under. And we'll sit your bottom back towards the heels, encouraging a softening and opening into the toes. You might not feel in the toes first, you might feel in the knees first, or the ankles. Just listen to where your edges. And then it's all about the pelvis. Tucking the tailbone under, leaning back into it, shoulders back and down. Lengthen through the body for a moment, encouraging the heels towards the floor, and then drop the body onto the thighs and release the head. If you need a gap between the knees to let that chin soften further to the collarbone, then make one. And breathe. Beautiful posture for expanding into the back of the body here. We're encouraging the heels closer to the ground as we sink back into the hips. And as we let go of the head, the spine is being stretched in the opposite direction at the same time. Ribs at the back expanding with the breath. Just one more. See where you can release a little bit more. And then breathing your way back up, coming out as slowly as you need to today, especially if there are back or knee niggles, or if you like, slow to 90, and firing into the thighs for a bit. Couple breath there, then we'll step straight up for a second set. Get to the distance again. Beautiful parallel feet, toes are lifted, arms are shoulder. Inhale, zip up through the core. Exhale, squatting down into that chair, just exploring your way into it. Making sure everything's staying beautifully balanced and in line. Fantastic. Listen to that breath. Most important thing. Bending deeper on the exhale. 2 more. Lift the toes, lift the stone. 1 more. Shoulders roll back and down as you sit down into that tailbone. And release it back to center. Deep breath in, and high up onto toes and forward. Lean forward in your own time. Keep the heels as high as you can, or if there's stuff going on in the knees, sometimes it's nice to bend down and then lift the heels. See what your body needs today. Keep the power in the core, keeping you beautifully supported. And if you're bending nice and deep to a 90, you might like to sit the body more upright, tucking the tailbone under. 3, if you can, soft shoulders. 2, power in the bend. Try not to go past the 90-degree angle at the knees, otherwise it gets easier. 1, and release. Beautiful. Feet together. And knees to the floor, or if you felt that toppling back feeling in recent practice, if you can lean so far back that the knees become light, that's when we come into pure balancing. So our gaze point, especially if your pure balancing is down on the floor, so you can feel and see those knees extending further towards the ground. That's why they can do that at the moment. Just listen and breathe. Shoulders back and down, back, just controlling that tilt in the pelvis. 2 more breaths, soft shoulders, keep the gaze point forward so we're not leaning back, because that encourages the arch in the spine, lovely, and releasing forward. Press the hands to the floor, lift the leg through the spine, and drop the body onto the thighs. And releasing, chin towards the collarbone, heels extending towards the ground. Beautiful stretch through the ankles, through the calves, maybe thinking up into the back of the knee. Breathing and releasing. 2 more. Balancing if you wish. If you're balancing, make sure that the shoulders aren't creeping up towards the ears. They're still soft, there's still space. And releasing. Extending up. Curling up nice and gently if you need, or slow to 90, and firing into those thighs for a bit. Beautiful. Or if you need one. Then coming into the first of our single leg standing positions. Scales, you know very well there yet. Eagle posture, depending where that came from. Charabasana. Rooted into our foundation, and into prayer. Inhale, swing the arms wide. Exhale, left elbow swings over the right. And find that bind in front of the face. You might be grabbing the wrist, the palms, the thumb, whatever works for you. Breathe the left knee off the ground, tummy's into the spine, and leaning forward as much as you need to as we bend down into that standing leg. When you're ready, inhale, left leg up and over, closing the gap between the thighs. Engage the balance, really helps with the balance. Lift that pelvic floor. When we're on a single leg, that pelvic floor lift really helps root us into that foundation. 3 deep breaths here, shoulders soften down the back. 2, bending deeper into the right leg. 1 more breath, tummy into the spine, lengthening through, and release. Wide, and down. Hands back to prayer, and breathe. Inhaling wide, exhaling to the right hand, underneath the left. Finding your bind, listening to the breath. Feel the space through the front of the body. We're trying not to round and hunch forward, but feel that lift and lengthen through the spine as much as you can. As that right knee comes high, use your gaze point, your drishti. Powerful tool of focus and balance. Lifting that right knee up and over when you're ready. Only if the knee goes past the other one nice and comfortably to explore that full round. Consolidate where you are before you go deeper. 3, as we bend that right left knee deeper. 2, band is lifted, shoulders soft. 1 more, sit down into that tailbone, lift through the core, and release it. Pass wide, and down. After the rest there, then a second stage. Hands to prayer. Inhale, sweeping wide. Exhale, left elbow on your right. Find that bind in front of your face. Shoulders as square as you can today as we breathe the left knee up. Leaning forward. If there's anything going on in the knees, you might find it easier to sit down first and then take the leg off over. If you're working on strength and stamina, we see we hold it there for a moment and changing it across. Square in the hips, which if you're in the full round, the right hip's travelling gently forward, the left hip's travelling gently back. 3 breaths as we bend the right knee deeper. 2, shoulders soften away from the ears. 1 more, sit down deep as the elbows draw towards the thigh, and release it. Wide, and down. Final set, final side. Inhale, sweep wide, exhale, right elbow, over the left. Find that bind in front of the face. Breathe in between those shoulder blades. Feel that space, feel the softness. Lifting the right knee high as we lean forward as much as you need to and bend down into the feet. Taking the right knee up and over when you're ready. As you bend deeper and deeper into the leg, once you get to 90, you might like to explore a little deeper by straining the body back more vertically. See if you can square those hips. Lift the pelvic floor as we sit down and breathe. Back into the right hip and forward through the left. 1 more. Tummy strong, lifting out of the waist and releasing out wide and down. Beautiful stuff. Very nice indeed. So have a little moment there. Sip on the water. Always sit down if you need one. Really important to listen to your body. So next we're coming to our big 3 single leg standing movement. First, this is standing head to knee posture. Don't be off by the neck. You don't have to get the head to the knee. Again, exploring where you are. Make sure the foundation posture is really good before you explore further. It'll make the exploring further much more easy and enjoyable. So the first stage is breathing the right knee up, interlacing the fingers around those knees, shoulders back and down, lengthen the spine. Relax the ankle. ankle, rooting to the floor. Power and movement are coming from a bend in the arms, so the bicep strength, and the tummy in and up, lengthening the spine. That helps to release and soften into that hip. If the knee's high, you can start to walk the hands down, one at a time. Pulling the knee in and up each time you do, and eventually hooking up with that forefoot. Inhale, straighten up through the core. Exhale, kick out through the heel if that's you today. If not, we're working on the breath and squeezing that knee in, softening and opening into the hip. Just 2 more breaths, everybody. Lift the standing forward. 1, shoulders away from the ears, length through the spine, power in the belly, and release. And straightening and letting go. We always come out the way we came in. Try not to release with the body forward because that puts more pressure on the lower back. Shifting side, the left leg lifts, interlace fingers, nice and high up on that knee, so you've got maximum leverage into the hip. And breathe. The most important thing is that length through the spine and that you're listening to your breath. The knees coming straight up, in between the sternum and the shoulder, not off to the side or across the body. If you can feel the ribs pressing into the thigh, exploring the arms coming down. 1 hand, lift in and up, 2, in and up. If you're hooked up with that foot, inhale, straighten, exhale, kick forward. Make sure you're looking at the floor, so your neck stays in line with the rest of the spine. 3, lift the standing forward. 2, down through the tailbone, up through the crown of the head. 1 more breath, strong tummy, strong biceps, and releasing. Beautiful stuff. Listen to that breath as we come back to our Tadasana moment. And then shifting to a second stage. Interlace fingers. High up on that right knee. Feel solid grounded into the left leg. We want this standing leg strong and lifted, but it's never hyperextended. So there's a little softness at the back of the knee, and the thigh is engaged if you possibly can. Growing a little taller. If the knee's high, walking those hands down, walking up with that forward. Inhale, straightening, power in the belly. Exhale, kicking out through that hip. Fantastic. Don't worry if the leg doesn't go straight. Try and keep the ribs as close to the thigh as you can, feeling that knee elongation. A little bend in those arms will bring the power back into the belly and the bicep, make you feel more in control. Fantastic. Don't let that heel drop below the hip. For 1 more breath, out through the tailbone, out through the crown, and releasing. Bend the leg, straighten the body, release. Final set. Final side. That left leg lifts, interlacing the fingers nice and high. And breathe. Root down into the tailbone, lengthen through the spine, shoulders backing down, tummy strong. If the knees high, exploring walking the hands down. As we come down, we can get even more pressure into that hip. Then hooking up if you can, we want the heels and the palms underneath the forefoot. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, kicking the heel out as we start to elevate the body over that thigh. Beautiful. Make sure you're looking at the floor. Listen to your breath, never forcing, never straining. 3, lift standing forward. 2, power in the belly, power in the biceps. Just a micro bend in those arms will bring the power back into that body. You got it. So 1 more, out through the tailbone, lengthening and releasing. Fantastic. Well done. Especially important at home. Take your time, listen to your breath. You haven't got the heat candles on here, watching over, but you're not going too far, so really listen to your breath. So, ready? We're going to come into that counter posture. Our standing bow pulling. You're going to whip the right foot back first. Elbow comes into the waist, up behind you if you comfortably can. If that's too much on the shoulder or the elbow, or you can't reach it yet, then feel free to grab the outside of the foot. Left arm side to the ear, gaze point this time nice and high, because the lift of the chin helps to open into the neck, which helps to open into the lower spine. Chest forward as you inhale, knee back as you exhale. We're thinking up through the body as we root down into our foundation. Holding around on the inhales, exploring a little deeper on the exhales. Taking over there, listening to the breath. And 3 huge breaths as we power up into that right leg. 2, look high, lift high, kick high. 1 more breath, up and out of the toes as you reach with the fingertips. And breathing back to center. After the rest there, finding your Tadasana. And the second side. Left foot looks forward. Elbow to the waist if you comfortably can. Or feel free to go to the outside of the foot if you prefer. Knees to touch, so make sure the hips are nice and square. Gaze point high, arm high. Feel the space and lift through the sternum on the inhale. Push the knee up and back behind you on the exhale. In the studio, you can see that knee gradually disappearing behind the thigh in the mirrors. If you're not, be extra careful about keeping that squareness through the hips. Listen and breathe. A little lift in that hip is fine, but make sure it's not toppling you off balance to the right. 3 as we power back into that knee. 2, strong hands as you kick back into the foot. 1 more breath. Look high with the eyes, lift with the chest, and releasing. Gently back to center. Good. Any stage you think, oh my goodness, I need to sit down, please take one. Never a problem. Listen to your body. Working with our body, not fighting against it. So, the right foot looks back once again. Elbow to the waist if you comfortably can, or around the outside of that foot. Left arm high, and breathe. Shoulders back and down. Feel the space in the front of the body. It's a back bend, so it's about front opening. Think about the space all the way through the front of the body. Through the throat, through the chest, through the tummy, through the front of the thigh. And breathe. Just find wave edges. Listen and explore a little deeper. Beautiful breath. 3 now as we lift forward on the inhale, kicking back on the exhale. Left leg is strong and lifted and pushing into the earth. 1 more breath, light and lifted. Toes to the sky, fingers to the sky, and releasing. Gently back to center. Very nice. Good start. Final set, final side. And left foot brings back. Right arm high to the ear. We might have hands around the toes, the top of the foot, the ankle, or the bottom of the shin, wherever works for you. Inhale, feel that space. Exhale, push back into the knee, exploring a little bit further. If you're wobbly, then that's a great sign to stay there and breathe and find your balance, find your composure, find a little bit of ease in the posture before you go further. And 3 huge breaths, power back and up into the left knee. 2, press to the floor, lift the chest forward. 1 more breath, up and up into those toes. Stunning stuff. And releasing. Very nice indeed. So into our final one of these big 3 single leg stand postures. Let's sip on the water if you need to. This is the scales or T posture. Also called the balancing stick. You want one strong straight line we are with the body, keep it lengthening. And keep breathing. That's a challenge in this one sometimes. So, keep in, deep out. When you're ready, inhale, sweeping the arms wide and high, roll the palms together, gaze point forward. Zip up through the core, and step the right foot forward, shifting weight into that foot. Steady where you are, and then gradually over time, that strong, extended, raised leg comes up behind you, keeping the rest of the body in line, and keeping the hips as far as you can, square to the front. So imagine both your hip bones are headlights coming straight towards your mat. Beautiful. If you're taking your arms out to the side, palms down if you can. For 3. Extend out through that left foot. 2, see if you can lift the right foot, push into the other. For 1, and releasing, stepping back up. Head back if you like. Keep the arms high if you can, or if you need to, breathe them back up for our second side. Huge wave of inhale, exhale, leg steps forward. And leg lifts off the ground, check in with the hips. Do you have a tendency to raise the right hip? If so, can you soften the left to bring it down in line with it? Listen to the breath. Hold your ground as you inhale, keep the core strong. Arms are high by the ears, and ultimately, if that's too much from the shoulders or the back, take it into that aeroplane mode. Just 2 more breaths. If you're parallel with the floor, gaze pointing a meter in front of the left toes. For 1, strength and power in that right buttock, and powering back to center, and release those arms. Good. Back to your Tadasana for a moment. Back to the breath. Notice the heart rate. Every breath allowed to soften. If you notice over time, that heart rate coming back to normal quicker and quicker, that's a lovely clear sign that you're getting fitter and fitter. Then we go for a second set. So exactly the same again. All of you are nailing that T with the arms extended out. You can explore further into the hips if you wish, but don't strain the hamstrings. Hands to the front. Inhale, sweeping wide and high, gluing the palms together, gaze forward. Zip up through the core as you lengthen from feet to fingers, and step the right foot forward. Square the hips, extending round and down. Set that T first before you go any further. If you're strong and steady there, the standing leg is lifted and straight, fingertips eventually become palms as the torso peels down onto the thigh. If you're happy there with palms near the foot, then grab the right hand first onto the right hand. 2 more breaths, ripple the spine over as you keep calm. For 1, shoulders soft. And releasing, push the ground away, powering back to center. The arms high again if you can, shoulders away from the ears, shoulder blades tucking into the back of those ribs. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the core. Exhale, left foot steps forward. Feel the torso and the ribs lift up and out of the waist, beautiful square hips as they explore around towards that T. Extend in 2 opposite directions if you can before fingertips. In time, become palms. You're keeping the right leg nice and strong and lifted, but we're also elongating the body down over the thighs. Left hand first onto the left ankle if you're going for it. Make sure the gaze points change so the back of the neck is long. 2, kick up strongly into that right leg. 1 more, ripple the spine longer, and releasing. Back to center. Fantastic. Good stuff, and we're over the hump. Stay down onto 2 feet next. Our wide leg forward fold. Take a little breath of air first if you need one. When you're ready, we're facing the long edge of your mat. Feet nice and wide apart. Check in with those feet for a moment. Do you have a tendency to shift all the way back into the heels, a lot into the forefeet? Are your feet nice and parallel, or maybe a little bit Charlie Chaplin? If you can, bring those heels wider and the big toes. Hands together. Inhale, sweeping arms wide, lengthen through the core and folding forward. Take the hands to the outside of your legs and push in strongly to support the back. Particularly if the head is above the hips or level with it or only a fraction lower and get closer to the ground. The back needs less support. You can then take the hands away to an alternative knee. But if your head is not too much further than your hips, then really use those hands strongly. The back needs supporting to allow the hips and hamstrings to soften and release. 3 deep breaths. Legs strong and straight. You can lift the thighs a little bit up. 2. Think about the tailbone being gently and subtly lifted towards the spine. 1 more breath from the tummy into the spine. Breathe the ribs away from the hips. And releasing back to center. Bending the knees on the way up if you need. You can keep the feet wide if you like, or feel free to come back into neutral for a moment in between the sets. Then setting up for a second set. Hands to back. Inhale, sweeping wide. Exhale, folding forward. Using those hands strongly down the outside of the thighs. Each inhale, taking back, breathing the ribs away from the hips. Use the tummy then to pull the whole of the lowest of the spine down towards the floor as the tailbone extends up. Lengthening through, softening into the hips, check the weight into the feet. Relax the head. 3 deep breaths, maybe lifting thighs, maybe shifting weight further into the forward. 2, shoulders gently away from the ears. 1, and releasing. Breathing back to center, reach out through, and release. Again, stay wide as you comfortably can. We'll come back together with those feet for a moment. Then we're coming into the side angle stretch. So again, feet wide, we're aiming for wrist width distance eventually here, but as wide as you can go today is part of it. Hands to right. Inhale, sweeping up to the steeple. Exhale to shoulder. Inhale, turn the right foot out. Exhale, bend down into that knee. Roll the knee over the ankle. It's headed towards the toes, but it's never going beyond the toes. Bring them down when you're ready. Right arm supporting on the right leg. Or if that's too easy today, send the elbow into the center of the knee and reach out through the fingertips. There's no weight through those right fingertips. The support is from the pressure into the knee with the arm and the lift through the balance. We're reaching high to the ceiling on this first set. For just 2 more breaths. Press into the outside of that left foot. Lift the left leg. And push the ground away, back to center. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to shoulder. Inhale, turn the left foot out. And bend down into that left knee. Keep the body upright for a moment if you can. And then wiggle down. Feel the opening of the hips. The right arm reaches to the sky. And if that's too easy today, the left elbow presses into the bony center of the knee joint as you extend through the fingertips. 2 more breaths. Reach out through the right leg. Strong lift, press into the toes. 1 more. Not tense into the toes, but make sure the outside of that right foot is rooted. And then breathing back to center. And release. Once again back to center if you like. Or stay wide if you prefer. Second set, we're going to extend the side angle stretch. Take the top arm over. Stop. So hands to back. Inhale, sweep the arms wide and high. Exhale to shoulder. Inhale, turn the right foot out. Exhale, bend the knee, grow the ankle. Zip up through the core and windmill down. Again, the right arm might be supporting, might be in front of the leg, or if you can comfortably reach the floor, take the hand to the outside of that right foot. Breathe that space all the way down the left-hand side of the body. Bend a little deeper into that right knee. We're looking for a straight line through the side of the body. Just 2 more breaths. Maybe a fraction wide there, Julian. Your knees almost on your toes. You don't want to take it any further. Maybe straighten this. Just 1 more. And power back. You've got to see a good strong bend. But it's just showing you can go a little bit wider. Either side. Inhaling high. Exhaling to shoulder. And then left foot out. And bend down into the knee. Open your body as much as you can. The long edge of your mat, the right arm comes up and over to the side of the face, and then the chin is tucking in towards that bicep and that shoulder. Keep the back of the neck long and breathe. Breathe, slowly down. To right shoulder, up and back. Feel the space down through that rib cage for 1 more breath. And powering back to center. And release. Very nice, beautiful postures today. Wonderful alignment. So next we're setting the feet back. Elbows distance apart. All the hold triangle. Eating should go on. And it's extra warm at the back if you've got that beautiful sunshine as well. Take it easy, remember to breathe. Hands to pray. Inhale, sweeping high. Gaze point forward, shoulders back in there. Inhale, turn the left foot in. Exhale, the right foot out. We square the hips to the short edge of the mat. Kneecaps are lifted, both legs stay strong and straight, and hips stay beautifully square as we lengthen forward. The left hand is supporting down that right leg. Just as far as your hips and hamstrings will allow today. The knee starts to bend, that's quite a nice clear sign that your edge in the hamstrings, so don't go any lower. If it's easing, you might get to the outside edge of that right foot. Hips stay square as we release the right arm away, so the rotation is coming through the spine. And breathe. Use that left hand strongly for support. And try not to round the spine, but lengthen. Just 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Strong, straight legs. For 1, just swap those arms over. So it's the left hand that's down on the opposite leg. That's it. The other one releasing. There you get the twist. Fantastic. And powering back to center. Breathing up to the steeple. Centering the feet. The right foot turns in. The left foot turns out. Square the hips. The short edge of your mat. Inhale, lift the kneecaps as you lengthen. Exhale, elongate forward all the time. We're creating more space between the crown of the head and the tailbone. We're also listening to your edge. You might feel it in the hip, deep in the buttock. You might feel it in the thigh. You might feel it in the back of the knee. Wherever it is, listen to it. Don't force it. Don't strain it. Do not let that leg go. There's the lovely sound of silence. Listen to that breath. The left hand releases towards the sky, push out into the right. Just 2 more breaths. Down through the right shoulder, up through the left. 1 more. And releasing arms back together. Push the ground away back to center and center through the feet. And keep the feet where they are as we take the hands behind. Finding that prayer position between the shoulder blades if you can. a little struggle today, grab the wrists or elbows, whatever works for you. And inhale, turn the left foot in, exhale, right foot out. Inhale, look high as you feel that space. And exhale, this time as we fold forward, allow the right leg to bend enough to bring the whole body down onto those thighs. But the torso is resting on the thigh, let the head go. Soften the nose towards the knee or maybe down towards the shin. Feel rooted and strong into your back leg. And gradually glide the front leg straight. Just 2 more breaths. Use the balance and wriggle the spine on. 1 more. Pressing palms, raising elbows. And releasing strong into that right leg. Pushing you back. Center the feet. Right foot in and left foot out. Inhale, high, fill up space. Exhale, bend left knee and elongate your way down over the thighs. So you're trying to reach further down with those ribs. And then when you soften the body onto the thigh, let go of the head. Nose relaxing towards the knee or down towards the shin. Keep a lift in the back leg, rooted into the heel. Aware of the breath, aware of the balance. 2 more breaths as we glide that left leg a little bit straighter. 1 more as you press the heels of the palms together and raise up into those elbows. And release, breathing back to the center. Centering the feet, while let out with those hands. Have a good shake out or roll in the opposite direction if you like. And then we've got 2 more standing postures before we down on the floor. Our first is Utkatasana, fierce posture, just 1 set, coming from our Tadasana, facing front. So hands to prayer. Inhale, zip up through the core, exhale, bow forward and bend down into the knees. Knees, even ankles and calf thighs can squeeze together if you like. Inhale, sweep the arms wide and high, and most importantly, draw the tummy button back towards the spine to support that low back. Pelvic floor is lifted as we sit down. 3, chest lifts forward, lift high with the fingers. 2, bend down into those knees. 1 more, lift through the core, reaching high, sitting low, and release. The arms, and if you feel that strong in the low back, have a little round forward. And we're coming into our final standing posture, the tree. We're going to breathe the right leg first up off the ground. Taking it as high as you comfortably can, and maybe just inches off the ground. If you're feeling well balanced and opening that hip, take it onto the opposite thigh and support with a hand for as long as you need. Still lengthening through that spine, we're still softening into the shoulders. We're breathing down into the tailbone and engaging the bones. 3, 2, growing a little taller, the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Long through the neck for 1 more breath as you soften that knee closer to the ground and release it back to center and down. And breathe the left leg off the ground, maybe just a couple of inches, maybe finding it into the inside of the ankle or thigh. If you're feeling nice and warm and open into those hips, we're breathing, you're balancing beautifully, you can come onto the front of that hip. So forth with the right hand for as long as you need it. Eventually, finding you can take both off into the prayer. Breathing breath, soften the shoulders away from the ears. 2, root to the earth as you grow taller through the crown of the head. 1 more breath, release into the hips, tummy strong, and breathe back to center, and down. Lord, which is moving from this stage. So lying onto your backs. You're going to take both knees up into the double window moving kind of posture first of all. Maybe rock side to side if you like, feeling that lengthening through the waist. And then interlace fingers around the knees, drawing them down towards the chest. You want to keep as much of the back of the body on the floor as you can, right down to that tailbone, or at least the sacrum. The tailbone probably won't be touching the ground, but keep as much of the sacrum on the floor as you can. Beautiful breathe. On the exhale, squeeze the knees closer, extend down into that tailbone. Long through the back of the neck for 2. Tummy strong. One more breath. And releasing. Then coming into a sit-up and forward fold. Feet straight out in front of you if you like, or if there are any niggles in the low back, raise them up above the hips. A deep wave. Inhale, tummy strong, hold the breath. And fire forward before you gently exhale. Rock from side to side, bring up into those sit bones if you like. If the tailbone has a tendency to be quite tucked under still, use the hands beside you to grow up tall into that star posture first. If you're comfortably high onto those sit bones, you can start to fold forward with a beautiful straight spine. Inhale, lengthen, lift the front of the body towards the end of the mat. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Don't worry about the end goal. You want the pressure into the hips. Only grabbing the feet if you comfortably can, and keep the spine beautifully lengthened. Breathe. Feeling the body a little further forward. 2, soften into the backs of the knees. Then as you go further, each breath, sometimes you need to take a breath just releasing into where you are. One more, wriggling that spine along the shoulders away from the ears, and breathe back to center. And bend the knees to come into the back posture. Shoulders back and down, tummy up and forward. Support the hands for as long as you need. All the way through is much better if you're keeping that strong, straight spine. Your core is more engaged there than it is straightening the legs and rounding the back. So really engage that path. Finding your edge today for 3, for 2. Lift the pelvic floor for 1, then crossing the legs and lift. Second set. Support as long as you need, shoulders back and down. Feel the tummy button lifting up and forward, the sternum and chest lifting up and forward. Engage the pelvic floor for 2. One more breath. And releasing, crossing, and lifting. And final set. Same again, or if you like, cupping those heels. As we bring tummy up towards the thighs, chest towards the knees, shoulders back and down. For 3, lift the pelvic floor. For 2, crown to the ceiling. For 1, and release. Beautiful start. If you feel that strong in the front hip, a little round forward on how to release that before we come on to our friends. Take a rest if you need one. Take it gently if you need one. We're coming next into our strong back one. So if you're feeling on top of above, then really go. Shoulders back and down, fingers underneath the shoulders, feet stay glued to the floor. Inhale, lift through the core. Exhale, push the hips to the floor as we lift the body up. Looking high with the eyes, but don't overstrain the neck. Press the feet into the ground, press the pubic bone into the ground. One more breath, lift a little higher, look a little higher, and release back to the floor. A breath there, maybe 2, then second step.
You feel a little stretch in those muscles around the eyes. For 2 more breaths, you press to the floor through the hips and the feet. And 1, lifting higher and releasing to the ground. Let the head drop to one side, the arms release beside you. And breathe. And we're letting the feet come away from each other a little bit, let the hips bit distance for our standard locust. Arms are flat to the floor, about 45 degrees away from the body. If you prefer the super person, you can take the hands in front, maybe one of each. A deep wave, inhale, exhale, press the hips to the ground and lift the legs. Keep aligned as you look forward and up. Raise those thighs off the ground a little higher. 2 more breaths, pull the little fingers back towards you. For 1, hyperextend the legs and releasing slowly and gently back down to the ground. Half a breath there. And a second set. Swap the arms if you wish. Or same again. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lift and lengthen. Shoulders back and down. If you're in the standard locust, draw the little fingers back towards each other, over the buttocks, really engaging those triceps. Just 2 breaths. Look high, lift high. 1 more. Breathe those thighs off the ground and release. And to the opposite side to last time. Relax into the floor. Soften and breathe. And finally, taking the knees a little bit wider as we bend them up and grab the feet toward the bow posture. The wider the knees are, the easier it is on the spine. So if you've got a good pronounced rocking bow, you might like to bring them a little bit closer back together. See what works for you today. Inhale, drawing that energy. Exhale, spending it as we extend out through those legs. Shoulders soft, being drawn back. Arms relaxed and straight. A steady grip of those fingers. 3, 2, 1, and releasing down. Half a breath there. And then our final set. Final major effort in the session. A deep wave of inhalation. Exhale, lift and lengthen. You're in the studio, having a look at the mirrors on your way up with the gaze point to check that you're nicely balanced. Right and left. Maybe a little more power on that left side. Beautiful stuff. If you feel the breath start to rock the body, feel free to go with it. Just 1 more. Reach the toes high. And releasing down to the ground. Fantastic. And have a soften there for a moment, or for as long as you need. When you're ready, we're going to join together into a kneeling position towards the front of your mat. The final one of our back bends. Reclined here. And knees are separated again, just soften on the back. Separate the heels. We're eventually sitting down to the floor in between those heels, if it's okay with your knees today. Hands behind you. Using those arms to support from the lower down towards the elbow. If that's working well for you today, we can bring the shoulders to the floor and bind the elbows above the head. And starting in time to draw those knees a little closer back together. Always working at your edge, wherever that may be. Lovely stuff. Always listening to your breath. Relax the head back and just notice where it is you're feeling it in the body. Tell it to soften, tell it to release. If the shoulders are flat to the floor, binding the elbows above the head. In time, those elbows will come forward towards the feet, allowing you to lower the shoulders a little further down, but as you're ready. No forcing, no strain. Beautiful stuff. Pulling out back to the side a little bit if it feels more supported. Fantastic. Then when you're ready, slowly and gently breathing your way back up. Make sure your balance and your hands are supporting you back on the way back up. We'll come into another sit-up and forward fold to counter all that strong back work. You can stay seated if you prefer, or lying down. Feet straight out in front of you or raised above the hips if you prefer. As you inhale that breath, hold it and fire forward before we exhale. Rock your buttocks as you need. Every few breaths, it's quite nice as you get deeper and deeper and you rock from side to side. Squeeze up around those sit bones. Each inhale, lengthening through the front of the body. Wherever you are, you might be vertical, you might be leaning back, you might be leaning forward. It doesn't matter at all. It's all about that lift and lengthen and that pulling forward the lowest tummy first. Don't ground yourself forward with your shoulders because that just creates tension in the top of the back. You'll have to line out later. So focus on those hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. 3 more. Soften into the backs of the knees. 2. Lift the pelvic floor. Strong. 1. Lengthen the crown away from the tailbone. And release. Keep coming into our nice soft finishing sequence. Finding the balance. That strong posture on practice as we kneel towards Baddha for Purmukha Konasana, half tortoise. Inhaling arms wide and lengthening. Exhale, hinging forward at the hips. Hands, elbows, and forehead come to rest on the mat in front of you. If the forehead's not reaching the floor, you might have to play around with taking the knees a little bit further apart, or you can bend the arms and rest the forehead on those hands. Make sure that you're in a position where you're comfortable, where you can release and soften into anywhere that you notice the tension. And most importantly, breathe. In this beautiful inward looking posture, breathing deeply down into those lungs, feel a beautiful stretch through the lower back. And each exhale, give a little more weight of the body down to gravity. Get that sense of letting go, of undoing. Really use the exhalations to release tension wherever you can. As we inhale, the diaphragm tenses up and draws into our very centre, pulling downwards so that a vacuum is created in the lungs and the air pressure outside forces the air into the lungs. So when you let go of that diaphragm, that tension, it releases the breath. So the body is automatically more inclined to release and soften on our exhalation. So really use that in your practice. Really use those exhales. Visualizing that softening. Consciously releasing. Letting go of tension wherever you can. If you can make the exhalations a little longer than the inhalations, then that automatically triggers the vagus nerve to shift the body into the parasympathetic nervous system. A place of rest and digest, of recuperation and healing, allowing you to process all that strong physical practice today. Align your body-mind. Calming everything. Helping you to reach that ultimate goal of yoga, unity. Are you ready? Deep, smooth wave of inhale, breathing your way back up. Gently elongating through the spine if you like. And then we're coming into our spine just to finish and relax completely into Savasana. So one foot up next to the hip, not under the hip, just next to it, so you can move both sit down to the ground, the other foot comes over the knee. If that's not happening today, then just leave the bottom leg straight out in front of you. So rotating towards that raised leg, drawing the spine, the tummy button in towards the spine, so we're wringing out the internal organs, squeezing the blood out of them. As we imagine our torso as a dishcloth. Don't force, don't strain, just explore with the breath. One more. And then as we release, beautifully oxygenated blood floods back into those organs. Swinging over to the other side. One foot over the knee. Bottom leg straight if you need to, lengthening and rotating. Inhales, take the tail go towards the floor and the crown towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw the tummy around and into the spine. Shoulders soften away from the ears, release into any way you feel tension. For one more breath. And relaxing. And then go down into Savasana. Now we go just a couple of minutes over today. If you have to go to it on time, feel free to go down. Otherwise, enjoy the last few minutes of complete release. If you like, one final deep held breath into stiff Savasana. On the toes, scrunch buttocks, shoulders and fists to the ground, faces scrunched, tummy hard, but then most importantly, the elbow. Spread your heels, widen your mat, letting your feet flop away from each other. Arms away from your sides, fingers curved naturally. Eyes gently and softly closed. Relax your jaw. Sink the body into the ground. And as you become softer and heavier into your body, the mind softens. Challenge. Or just names to you. So just notice if something's needing or annoying you. It's just another tension to release. Let it go. And I wrap it in the breath now. Let it move freely and naturally through the body. Like focus for the mind. Feel free to use that effortless rise and sink of the breath there. And maybe the patterns or shapes that are light playing on the inside of your eyes. Letting go through layer after layer after layer. Maybe settle closer to that still point in the center. the time and the inclination today, feel free to stay your process. Otherwise, when you're ready, start waving your fingers and toes a little. Really noticing the edge of your shape, the hair on your skin. So take a nice deep inhalation, allow your breath to fill your body and fill that space immediately around you. Allow yourself to take up just a little bit more space. When you're ready, bring your feet back together. Bring your arms above the head and exhale into an awakening stretch. Or bringing the knees towards your chest, hugging them to you. And rocking gently over onto your right hand side. Soft and heavy therefore. Eventually coming back to your seated position to seal the practice. And there you are. You've done your practice. You've invested that time and effort in your health. Congratulations. Thank you very much.